Let's start with ABC's Tom Yamas, who has been with Trump's campaign since day one. Good morning, Tom.
Robin, good morning to you. Donald Trump called this. He predicted an election night shocker, and he was 100% right. Despite nearly all national polls showing him behind before the voting started, Donald Trump is now President-elect Trump.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Overnight, President-elect Donald Trump striking a conciliatory tone in his victory speech.
I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton. She congratulated us, it's about us, on our victory. And I congratulated her and her family on a very, very hard-fought campaign. We owe her a major debt of gratitude for her service to our country.
With his family nearby, Trump telling the standing room only crowd he hopes to unite all Americans.
I say it is time for us to come together as one united people. I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans, and this is so important to me.
It was almost 18 months ago. Donald Trump, a businessman and celebrity with no political experience, announcing his candidacy in true Trump fashion.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Trump entered the Republican primaries facing off against 16 other Republican opponents, the largest field in history.
You are the single biggest liar. You probably are worse than Jeb Bush.
Despite the criticism Trump received on the campaign trail for his rhetoric and proposals,
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
He still pulled in massive crowds, one by one, knocking off his Republican rivals to become the party's nominee.
I humbly and gratefully accept your nomination for the presidency of the United States.
Vowing to make America great again with his tough stance on law and order.
The attacks on our police and the terrorism of our cities threaten our very way of life.
And immigration.
We are going to build a great border wall to stop illegal immigration.
He squared off against Hilary Clinton in 3 debates.
He's unfit, and he proves it every time
You
he
are
talks.
the one that's unfit. The problem is you talk, but you don't get anything done, Hillary.
But when it came down to it, when America voted, he clinched victory.
The next president of the United States, Donald Trump. Thank you. It's been an honor.
And this morning, a sign we have entered a new era in this country, Twitter, Donald Trump's preferred form of communication with a new title. You see it there, Donald J. Trump, President-elect of the United States. Now, guys, eventually Donald Trump will take over the POTUS Twitter account, President of the United States. And guys, so many of us were surprised and shocked, but the clues were right in front of us. And here's one example, George. The President of the United States, 11.4 million Twitter followers. Donald Trump, 13.5 million. More popular than the president, you can argue, George.
13 million. Okay, Tom Yamas, thanks very much. Amy Robach here as well. You were at that New York Hilton last night, the Trump headquarters. Completely opposite experience from what Robin had. Night started out, they seemed uncertain, a little bit shaky, and then their mood rose all through the night.
It was quite an arc, to say the least, George. When we first walked in, it was somber almost there at the Hilton. Definitely a subdued election party headquarters, and the group was small. The media outnumbered the invited guests for a large part of the early part of the night, and they were definitely not in a celebratory mood. And then the results started coming in. You saw more people starting to gather, and then the crowd took a 180-degree turn. I took this video, chanting, cheering, singing. They were drinking and booing Hilary Clinton throughout the night, at different points chanting, "Lock her up." And just before 3 in the morning, when the election was finally called, the crowd went wild. Standing room only. But when Trump came out, I have to say there was another tonal shift when he thanked Hilary Clinton for her service and a hard-fought fight, and his crowd of supporters completely turning around and giving her a round of applause.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because when we saw John Podesta come out to the Clinton gathering and say they weren't going to say anything tonight, they're chanting "Lock
they
her
were
up."
booing and lock her up. It was an angry response, and it was deafening. And then to see them turn around and applaud for her when Trump thanked her, it was quite remarkable.
Amazing stuff right there. Okay.